3 in a row after a doubleheader sweep of the Pirates yesterday. 2 big home runs. Walk-off home run in Game 1 from Tyler Stevenson. They trailed in Game 2 until Mike Moustakas, 3-run home run, and the Reds never looked back, sweeping their division rivals and putting themselves right into the sentence for the playoffs here in 2020. As the Reds and Pirates will get back at it, Game 3 of a 4-game set from Great American Ballpark. All the action coming up on Fox Sports Ohio. Speaking of being in the thick of things, check it out. Reds just a game back. 8 teams for the final 4 seeds in the National League. 11 games to play. Anything can happen. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Chris Welsh, I'm Jim Day. Going to be an exciting stretch here for the Cincinnati Reds, and finally scoring some runs. And Chris, scoring runs in many different ways.
Yeah, a lot of different ways. Home runs are the way the Reds normally score runs, but they did it in a number of different ways. They got a lot of walks last night from the Pirates pitching staff, but here's the way they've done it over this last 3-game winning streak. 13 of them by home runs. That is the preferred method, obviously. But even by singles, by doubles, by ground, by air, they're coming. They're coming. The Reds offense is coming back, and that's what makes it a lot of fun to take the mound for the Reds when you know you're going to be able to score some runs. Hard to believe that yesterday's game, second game of that doubleheader, was an actually come-from-behind victory where they end up winning 9-4. That's exciting baseball.
Speaking of on the mound, it is Michael Lorenzen that will get the start tonight. First time he started a game since 2018.
Yeah, and even that year he only started 3 games. Prior to that, he was a regular starter back in 2015. If you can remember back that long ago. You know, there are a lot of ball clubs out there because of doubleheaders, because of short starts by their starting pitchers, just because of a compressed season. They're using bullpen games, and this is one of those for David Bell. You know, you're not sure how many innings you're going to get out of Lorenzen. He has pitched as many as 4 in one game so far this year, but I think if they can get 3 or 4 solid innings out of him and give this ball club a chance to get on Joe Musgrove, it'll be a good thing.
Speaking of Joe Musgrove, they've seen this guy before. First time, though, in 2020.
Well, he was their opening day starter this year, and he's probably the best on paper that they have. He missed 3 weeks of the season with an arm injury. He's now coming back. They've been very careful about his usage, the number of pitches, but he's got a really good slider, as we're showing you right there. A lot of swings and misses on the slider. Doesn't throw especially hard, but he's got good spin on his fastball. So he's got all the components right there. And by the way, he's always pitched very well against the Reds.
In need of another W. Can the Reds get it? We'll find out together when we come back. Tyler time. Jeff McCorrell has that and more here on Fox Sports Ohio.
Check out our award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealers. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. Well, the Reds are starting to get healthy. They got Senzel back yesterday, and look who's back. Jesse Winker's not played since last Thursday in Chicago. He's had lower back tightness, but he's missed 5 straight games. But he is back in the lineup. He'll be the DH and hitting 4th tonight for the Reds. Well, yesterday, a huge day for Tyler Stevenson. He's had a bunch of firsts this year, and we're going to take a look back at 3 of those huge opportunities he's had where he has come through. Let's go back to his career first at bat, July 27th, versus the Cubs. Dwayne Underwood. Wish he could take this one back, but Stevenson says goodbye baseball as a home run there in his first AB. And then his first caught stealing, it's only against the fastest guy in the league as he nails Billy Hamilton on a perfect throw. And of course, last night in Game 1, he ends it with the walk-off home run off Sam Howard. A huge blow. And afterward, he talked about all 3 of those events and how to rank them.
I'll go with the first at bat, then this, and then Billy. So I don't know. They're all up there. Everything that's happened this year, especially with like throwing out Billy, like I don't know. I can't imagine everything that's happened. Really. That was a lot of fun. So that's the 2nd in my career. I had one in high A, but obviously this is way better.
What a pleasure to be around. I'm sure a lot more to come from that young man in the future. And a change for the Reds. Eugenio Suarez is off on paternity leave. So Mike Moustakas will play third base tonight as well. So the Reds looking for 4 wins in a row. Michael Lorenzen.
Another gorgeous night for baseball. Big ballpark along the Ohio River. Pirates and Reds set to do battle again after the Reds sweep a doubleheader yesterday. And in need of another win tonight, as we showed you, very much alive to get a playoff spot in the expanded playoffs here in 2020. Michael Lorenzen just now beginning to make his final warm-up tosses from the Great American Ballpark mound. And there's always pressure when you hit a major league mound, particularly so when you haven't started a game since 2018, and add in the implications of needing a win, a lot riding on his shoulders tonight.
And I think the other thing is that he's always wanted to be a starter. Even when he first came up in 2015, he was a starter. They converted him to a reliever, but he's always had in the back of his mind, I like to be the guy that starts the ball game. He is now pitching in his 266th major league game. He's only had 24 starts. So for overall, I'm not sure how deep they're thinking about Lorenzen, but take it one batter at a time, Michael, and keep this team in the ball game.
Well, out of the bullpen, he has been stretched out a bit. Check out our Elk and Elk storyline. Extended relief appearances back on the 31st of August versus St. Louis. Went 4 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, struck out 3. Faced 15 batters through 57 pitches, 3 1/3 back on August 13th against these Pirates. And that was 1 hit, no runs through 38 pitches. So it'll be interesting to see how long he can go in this one and what type of pitching repertoire he will use as a starter. And here is Eric Gonzalez coming to the plate. He will lead it off for the Pirates. Here's the rest of their lineup, brought to you by Jeff Weiler Automotive. Brian Reynolds in the 2 spot tonight. Keep Brian Hayes, your 3 batter. Then it's Moran, Josh Bell, Gregory Polanco, Cole Tucker, JT Riddle. At second base, Jacob Stallings will be doing the catching. Lorenzen will work from the stretch, and the first pitch to Gonzalez is fouled out of play, and we are underway. 73-degree game time temperature. Humidity's down. September in the air. Here's Gonzalez. The ground ball to Galvis. 1 out. Here's the defense behind Lorenzen, brought to you by Ford. Akiyama in left, Goodwin in center, Castellanos in right. No Suarez at third base. It's Mike Moustakas moving over there. Jose Garcia, Freddie Galvis at second base. Joey Votto at first. Tucker Barnhart doing the catching. Mike Moustakas, he's played most of his big league games at third base. A very comfortable spot, as Eugenio Suarez today went on the paternity list, which at a minimum is 3 days. So the Reds without their big slugger who's been hitting cleanup. Reds do get Jesse Winker back today. He will serve as the designated hitter, so you get Winker back, but you're without Suarez. Brian Reynolds, a 179 batter, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. Ballboy had to go a long way to retrieve that ball. And
he's got a little support down there.
He got some
He's
support.
got a cheering section on him.
He's got a whole cheering section. You can hear him scream, "My man!" 2 balls and a strike to Reynolds.
Yeah, we're only one batter into this ball game, but Lorenzen looks awfully relaxed, doesn't he? Just nice and smooth delivery, not trying to overthrow, trying to keep it simple. That would be a good formula for this evening.
Well, not much phases him. Talk to him. The interesting thing for me, well, we've seen him throw so many different pitches over the years and variations to pitches out of the bullpen, kind of cut that down some. What will he do tonight as a starter?
Kind of interesting you bring that up. I spent some time this afternoon going through his years and how his pitch selections have changed and changed dramatically. How his velocity has kind of peaked and ebbed along the way. How he's thrown a cutter for several years, and then this year he basically doesn't throw a cutter at all. So I think he's going to keep it simple. Fastball, slider, and changeup is one of his favorite pitches, and I think that was a pretty good way to get a strikeout right there.
Reynolds doesn't agree with the call, but 2 outs in the inning. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. There's that repertoire, Chris.
Well, yeah, I mean, the cutter nowadays, you don't see that much out of him anymore. You're going to see more four-seam fastballs and sliders. But, I mean, you could add 2 or 3 other pitches to this by the way he puts his finger pressure on the ball and makes it run one way or another. He's a guy that likes to experiment a little bit, but he also likes to throw hard. And that's why he keeps himself in such impeccable shape. I don't think sometimes Michael Lorenzen gives himself enough credit for how tough it is to hit 96 and 97 if that pitch has life. And sometimes a pitcher, if you don't believe that, you try to throw harder and your ball straightens out. It doesn't have as much life on it. He's got such natural action on his fastball that might as well let it work.
How about Galvis climbing the ladder? That ball off the mound. And Galvis right there, and it's a 1-2-3 first for Michael Lorenzen. He got back in the dugout. Reds coming up with this batting order brought to you by Jeff Weiler Automotive. Shogo back in the leadoff spot, swinging that hot bat. Castellanos, Votto, Winker back in the starting lineup. He's your designated hitter. Mike Moustakas at third base. Goodwin in center. Galvis, Garcia, Barnhart round out the Reds order. They will face big righty Joe Musgrove.
Musgrove had 5 starts, and they missed him badly, the Pittsburgh Pirates have. He was their opening night starter, and then he went on the disabled list, missed 3 weeks with a sore arm. He had tricep tendonitis, which is up around the shoulder, and he's just now his 3rd start coming back, and they've been very careful about his workload. So they expect if he does well, he'll be there for about 80 pitches here tonight.
And the first pitch to Shogo Akiyama is outside. Akiyama's been mighty impressive this month of September. He leads the Reds in hitting with a .314 average and a .489 on base percentage. He's hit safely in 6 of his last 8 appearances. He's raised that batting average, which is at 196. All the way up to where it is right now, 228. In fact, when you break it down the rest of the league, highest on base percentage in September, guys you would expect to be on that list, and Shogo Akiyama joining those 3 guys. And here he is. He'll just serve it into left center field. It's a leadoff base hit for Shogo.
Well, Shogo doesn't believe in that launch angle, but he believes in that little green area between infield and outfield. That's where you want your ball to land. And serving it out there is exactly what he did. Great way to put it, Jim. And you know, we've seen him use the entire field. You don't see a shift on Akiyama, and he is on base once again.
Been mighty impressive. He is yet to hit a home run in a Reds uniform. He was asked about that today, and he's like, listen, if I had a higher average and maybe a higher on-base percentage, overall I might be swinging for more power, but I know my job on this team, it is to get on base. And he does not want to change his approach. And why would you at this point? The way he's been going. First pitch strike to Nick Castellanos. Long hold by Musgrove. Ball and a strike.
Well, Akiyama's attempted a couple of stolen bases, and they want to make sure that, there aren't all that many players in this Reds lineup tonight that are going to run on you. And Akiyama's probably the #1 suspect there. So that you can hold varying amounts of time, but watch Castellanos. When Musgrove holds the ball for a long time, Castellanos looks like he freezes up a little bit.
Pirates team is not an easy team to steal on. Between their catchers and pitchers, they've caught 12 runners attempting to steal this season. Only the Angels and Indians have produced as many. Angels 14, Indians also with 12, along with the Pirates. Line drive, base hit. First two have reached. Here's your forward defensive lineup for the Pirates. Brian Reynolds in left. Cole Tucker in center. Gregory Polanco in right. Ke'Bryan Hayes at third. Gonzalez the shortstop. Riddle at second base. Colin Moran at first. And Jacob Stallings doing the catching. 2 on, nobody out for Votto. And it was a 2-home run day yesterday for Joey. It won in game 1. It won in game 2. Once again, standing very upright at the plate, fouls the first pitch out of play. Here's the 0-1. Just outside. Home plate umpire tonight is Ryan Blakeney. Hold by Musgrove, going through those extra signs with a runner at second base. Two and one.
Here you mentioned Votto being his posture at home plate, straight, standing up. To me, he looks much more comfortable like that. And we've seen some more power out of him. I know that, hitters evolve through a lot of different stages. They try different things all the time. And we've seen Votto try a ton of different things, anywhere from choking all the way up to bending all the way over. But he just looks a little more threatening standing up there, I think, than bent over.
Well, when he was tinkering last year, and when he went from the crouch to standing straight up, he said, I need to have higher exit velocity off my bat, and this will do it. Now, he's going to give up other parts of his game, perhaps. But I agree with you. He looks much more intimidating up there. And that's Votto-like. First three have reached for the Reds.
Yeah, this is not what they expected here out of Musgrove. He's a guy that throws the ball over the plate normally. In fact, he made news back in 2018. Don't know if you remember this or not, but in a game that he pitched against the St. Louis Cardinals on August the 30th, he started that game with 21 consecutive strikes. So he's a guy that, can throw a lot of strikes, both with his fastball and his breaking pitches. He basically goes fastball, slider, curve, changeup, and then every once in a while a cutter.
Here is Winker after missing 5 games with a lower back issue. He's back in there and greeted with a bases loaded, nobody out situation. Here's a dribbler. Musgrove will come to the plate, and Akiyama is retired for the first out. That'll bring up Moustakas, and last night, biggest hit in a Reds uniform so far. Pirates had a 1-run lead in Game 2 of the doubleheader. This 3-run home run in one swing of the bat turned the game around, and the Reds never looked in the rearview mirror. Went on to a 9-4 victory. We can barely see that C anymore on that helmet. A fresh coating of pine tar. I mean, looks like they just put that on there.
All that means is every pitcher on the ball club wants to walk by and touch his helmet on the way to the mound.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, do you think he could wear that helmet in the field? We're in the first. Big at bat, though. 1 out. Chance for a big inning. Pulled the string a couple times on Moustakas. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you know what Musgrove realizes right here? He can pitch with scouting report because he's got good command of that breaking stuff. But he also realizes his fastball is not good enough to overpower big league hitters, especially guys like Moustakas. So he goes slider, slider to start, hoping that Moustakas will roll over on one. Now they're going to change the infield configuration up a little bit, bring the infielders right in on the edge of the grass.
And that hit him, it did. This will bring in a run. That's an RBI the hard way for Moustakas, and let's hope he's all right.
Well, he got hit on the foot the other night. I don't know if this is the same spot or not. Right on the instep on the left foot right there, and he's going very slowly down to first base.
He's got to be thinking he's snake bit at this point. David Bell out, and Moustakas will wave him away. So the Reds out to a 1-0 lead. And the batter is Brian Goodwin. Goodwin got in on the home run parade yesterday. Solo home run in Game 2. Misspoke there. 2-run home run by Goodwin. It gave the Reds a 2-1 lead in the game. It was a back-and-forth affair until Moustakas gave the Reds the lead that they would not relinquish. Here's a drive to right at Polanco. Tagging at third is Votto. He will score. 2-0 Reds.
Well, a minimum, that's what you want to get out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation. A couple of runs out of that. They got one with an RBI on a hit by pitch and then a sacrifice fly, and they still got some chances here.
First and second now, 2 outs. And here's Freddie Galvis. Outside, 1-0.
Well, these RBIs with 2 outs are the ones that they're so disheartening for the pitcher. You think you're almost out of the inning, then the guy flips a base hit in there and drives another run in. They help your ball club just gain momentum even beyond what you've already done this inning.
Galvis not in the original starting lineup. The original starting lineup featured Eugenio Suarez. And again, if you're just joining us, Suarez on the paternity list. Wife expecting another child. He will be gone for a minimum of 3 days. So Galvis inserted at second base. Moustakas from second to third. Galvis will stare down a 1-1 pitch from Musgrove. Check swing. Ball and 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes. Count will hold at 2-2. Musgrove went 4 innings his last start, scoreless. He's pitched 7 innings since his return from the IL. Has been charged with just 2 earned runs over that span. That's coming into tonight's game. And now a full count to Galvis.
Well, he's yet to throw back-to-back fastballs, so I got to figure right here his go-to pitch against Galvis will be that little slider down and in, the one he wanted to throw to Moustakas and ended up holding on to it too long and hitting him in the foot. That was an 0-2 pitch that Moustakas got hit on.
Runners on the move. Payoff pitch. And this one served into left field. Here comes Winker around third base. He will score. 3-0 Reds. 2-out RBI hit, Freddie Galvis.
Really good at bat by Freddie Galvis. It turned out to be a fastball after all, and Galvis, kind of like Shogo Akiyama, just serves it into left field. Good 2-strike approach, protect the plate, and use the entire field.
Winker on the move upon the pitch and scores easily. Back looking pretty good right there. So a 3-spot already, and here's the 8th batter of the inning for the Reds, the rookie Jose Garcia. And a breaking ball in for a strike. Garcia did not appear in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday. Got the start in Game 1. That was 2 for 3, a couple of singles, and scored a run. Gonzalez coming off of that. After Reds came home from St. Louis, he had a couple of hits in that finale against the Cardinals and drove in a run. So seeing some signs from the Rook. But he's in an 0-2 hole here. Stock is his lead from second, Galvis from first. Time call. Check swing, he went. The Reds plate 3 after 1, 3-0 lead.
Ticket to the game. The playoff schedule was announced today by Major League Baseball. Now, this is interesting, guys. Wild card round, it's the best of 3. The top 4 seeds host. The American League starts Tuesday, the 29th of September. The National League starts Wednesday, the 30th. Then you get to the division series, and that's baseball's version of the bubble. It's a best of 5. The American League games will be in San Diego and Los Angeles. The National League will be played in Houston and Arlington, just outside of Dallas. The Championship Series, which is the best of 7, the American League will be in San Diego, the National League at Houston's Minute Maid Park, the World Series at Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas. So that's how it shakes out, and it all starts on Tuesday, September 29th.
It'll be very, very interesting. We knew it was going to be, with the expanded playoffs, that it was going to draw some interest over the last few weeks of the season, and there's a lot of cities, a lot more cities that are involved in the playoff hunt than normally would be. This is Galvis out on the grass, retiring Colin Moran. Lorenzen has faced, or retired all 4 batters he's faced. And 3 groundouts to Galvis. And here comes Josh Bell. Bell riding an 8-game winning streak, or hitting streak. Certainly not a winning streak. The Pirates have lost 6 games in a row. And the Reds will shift around to his pull side. Seven on the fastball. No balls and 2 strikes. Bell also 13 hits in his last 26 at-bats. Facing a 1-2 count here. 2-2. Speaking of holding it too long.
Yeah, I would imagine that if Josh Bell is a betting man, I doubt that he is, but if he were to be a betting man, he would be betting he's getting a fastball on this pitch. 2-2 count. You don't want to go 3-2. You just bounce 2 curveballs, and we'll see how Michael Lorenzen will do it.
The chopper charging his Moustakas and makes a nice play. That goes down as 5-3 in your books in the shift. That'll bring up Gregory Polanco. Polanco just a 142 hitter, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. First pitch fastball at the letters. Polanco did not agree. One and one. Little brush back with 97. '97 to 86.
Yeah, with the same arm action and with a little runaway action on that changeup.
About Lorenzo.
Oh, my.
6 up. MLB's predictive game. Make your predictions count. No purchase necessary. 21 plus to compete. Restrictions do apply. See official rules and enter at MLB.com/QuickPick. 3-0 Reds after they sent 8 men to the plate in inning number 1. And here is Barnhart taking his first at bat. He's got 3 hits off of Joe Musgrove in inning number 1. Took advantage of a couple of walks as well. Musgrove listed at 6'5", 235. Brushes Barnhart back from El Cajon, California. Barnhart to right field. Goodbye. Boy, did he jump on that one. Way out of here into the bow tie bar. Nothing Reds. Mercy me, he put a charge into that one.
I think really Tucker needed this one. I mean, a little fastball that Musgrove's trying to run away with him right there. He gets his 4th home run of the year and a no-doubter.
Longest home run we've seen from him for a while. Wow. And now back to the top of the order in Shogo Akiyama. He's been wearing the Pirates out. Shogo has reached in 6 of his 8 plate appearances this series. Prior to this at-bat, has seen 48 pitches. Two balls and a strike. He was asked about, was there a turning point in the season for you when you felt like you've arrived and you felt comfortable? And he said it was a single off of Yu Darvish against the Cubs. Big matchup for them, both from Japan. Akiyama, one of the guys that really idolized Darvish. And he felt at that moment, I feel like I've arrived. And he has not looked back. Go down on strikes here. And as Laz Diaz, the third base umpire, rings him up.
It's been the way that a lot of teams have tried to pitch Akiyama, with breaking pitches down in the dirt, because he flips that pitch to left field so much, and he's able to foul that pitch off a lot. They keep going downstairs, and he thought he had held up, but did not.
And that'll bring up Nick Castellanos. Singleton scored an inning ago. Drive to right center field. That is classic Castellanos. This will go to the wall. Castellanos on his way to second base, head first slide, a 9th double of the season.
Such a nice high finish on this pitch. Every time I see Castellanos hit a high pitch like this, I always go back to what former Red and former San Francisco Giant Kevin Mitchell used to say. Never try to pull a high pitch. And Castellanos is the poster boy for that. He takes that the other way. Just add one more double to the resume.
We got a Kevin Mitchell reference. I like it.
Mitch, one of a kind right there.
We'll talk about intimidating batters. All right, chance for Votto here. And in scoring position. Only one out. Ground ball. This will at least get Castellanos to third.
You know, think about it for a minute. If you're a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates, you know, this was a compressed year. It was a year that really any team had a chance. If they could make a little bit of a run, if they could stay healthy, if they could get some performances out of players they didn't expect. But they played 46 games, and they've only won 14 of those. So you're winning 3 out of every 10. So you pretty much know when you take the field, you're going to get beat up. They have the worst run differential in baseball. They're minus 80, so they've been outscored 80 runs to the number of runs that they've scored. They've lost 6 straight games. And now you're running out your number 1 pitcher here tonight, in Joe Musgrove, and you're in the second inning down 4-0. That's why these games against the Pirates are so important. You know, you may say, oh, it's a must-win game against the Cubs or must-win game against the Cardinals, but you have to take care of the teams that you match up well against. The Reds didn't do that in the beginning of the year.
Yep.
But they're beginning to feel like they can do that now. And they're certainly taking advantage of the Pirates, and it shows.
And we all talked about the favorable schedule early on. You're facing teams that were not so good a year ago. And the Reds just simply didn't take care of business the first part of the schedule.
You know, the worst thing a team or even a player individually can do is start reading the press releases and reading people's opinions about your ball club and about your schedule and about how your matchup should be against certain teams and so on. You know, you lose sight of what is important, which is coming out of there at the end of the game with a win. That's the only thing that counts at this level.
There's already enough pressure just being a big league ball player in a game that's built around failure. Down goes Winker. Tucker Barnhart. A monster home run. 4-0 Reds lead. Through the first 2 innings. Looking for their 3rd straight victory over the Pirates, 4th straight overall. On a gorgeous night at the Yard. Michael Lorenzen has faced 6 batters, has retired them all. A couple of strikeouts. And first pitch swinging is Cole Tucker, and the Pirates have their first base runner. That'll bring up JT Riddle. We talked about what pitches should we expect from Lorenzen. Coming into this inning, 5 4-seamers, 5 cutters, 5 sinkers, 4 changeups, and 3 curveballs.
Hey, if I'd known you're up here charting pitches, I wouldn't be doing it.
That's Joe Luckup, my friend. I just give the numbers. You tell me why. Why? Because he can. How about that?
You know, that's basically, you're right.
1-0 count on Riddle. 90 out in front. Ball and a strike. One ball and 2 strikes on J.T. Riddle.
Young man is from Reds country. He grew up in Frankfort, Kentucky. Riddle did. Went to Western Hills High School down in Frankfort and did his college work at UK.
Swing and a miss. Riddle me this. 3rd strikeout for Lorenzen.
Such a nice, easy motion. I mean, to be able to throw 97 miles an hour with that delivery, that's a gift. And, of course, in Lorenzen's case, it's also a product of an incredible amount of hard work. You know, there are a lot of players in baseball that work hard. In fact, most of them do, and they take the offseason seriously. But the kind of gymnastic workouts that Michael Lorenzen has taken to over this last offseason and then during the baseball hiatus this summer, just incredible to hear about some of those, talk about it. He hired a gymnastic coach to help him with his balance and kind of taking what everybody else is doing and taking it to another level.
Well, see it as well. He posts many videos on social media. In fact, during the shutdown, he had on Instagram, he would take people through how you can work out when you can't go to the gym during the quarantine. Use this at home. Use this to do this exercise. It's called the Zen Den. It was very educational. I've adapted exactly 0 of those workouts, but it was very educational for those that...
You mean you couldn't pick out one exercise or stretch that you have incorporated on a daily basis?
Oh, 6-ounce curls, maybe.
A 6-ounce curl?
8-ounce. 12-ounce?
Well, you need a little schooling in that, too.
I do. I don't know how many ounces. I just open it up and drink it. I guess it would probably be 12-ounce curls, right?
There you go.
All right. You'll be all right. Speaking of education, maybe I should go back to school. Count as 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jacob Stallings. In the air. Castellanos has a beat on it. 2 down. So 1 time through the order for Michael Lorenzen. 3 strikeouts, 1 hit. I'll go back to work. It's the leadoff man, Eric Gonzalez. Gonzalez grounded out to lead off the game. That'll get your attention. Two balls and no strikes. Another fly ball to right. This will drive back Castellanos. But there, a single man left. Reds home, presented by Densmore. New exhibit features over 200 historic pennants and banners from the Reds championship seasons from 1919 all the way up to 1990. Visit redsmuseum.org for more information. First pitch to Mike Moustakas is inside. Moustakas hit by a pitch his first time up. Came with the bases loaded. Look out, there's a Moose crossing. Reds ground crew up their game. It was already at a high level. They've had the Moose antlers down there, the Moose crossing signs now. And certainly the Moose chants. There's a ground ball. Fielded by Brian Hayes. One down.
Pretty smooth, slick fielder right there. He went a long way to get to that, Hayes did. He's a third baseman, but he moved like a shortstop on that one.
Certainly did.
Came gliding across the infield. Nice, smooth delivery to first base.
And Brian Goodwin. Back-to-back days with a home run. Carlos Martinez in St. Louis, part of a Reds victory as they took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, and then yesterday, 2-run shot in Game 2 of the doubleheader. It was one of the reasons why the Reds went out and got Goodwin. They can play all over the outfield. Has been logging most of his time in center field for the Reds. Got some pop.
Goodwin was born and raised in North Carolina, in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and he's always been a really good player. In fact, when he was in high school, he was the Gatorade North Carolina Player of the Year his senior season, which basically makes you the best player in the state. Went on to play baseball at Chapel Hill. He was there for a year before he ended up transferring down to Miami-Dade, which is a junior college, and that enables you to be drafted every year when you're in junior college as opposed to being in a four-year school. You have to wait until you're a junior.
Drove in a run, one of 3 runs scored in the first for the Reds. It was a sacrifice fly RBI. Down on strikes here.
That's a really good curveball right there. And I keep going back to the one that Musgrove wanted to throw to Mike Moustakas. I mean, he had a very tough situation. Moustakas was up with the bases loaded, and there was already one out. And he threw that 0-2 pitch and hit him on the foot. Had that pitch not hit Moustakas on the foot, let's say he threw him a really good one just like he did Goodwin, this would be a completely different ball game right now. Because that really opened the floodgates for 3 runs in that first inning.
Two-out batter Freddie Galvis, and it was with 2 outs back in the first. Came up with a big 2-out knock. Comes Brian Reynolds. And it's a 1-2-3 third.
Hey, guys, that is Michael Lorenzen talking about the spot start he's making tonight. He's gone several innings, a couple times over 3 in this year already, 3 1/3 and 4 innings, and pretty good so far. Just 36 pitches through 3 innings as he starts inning number 4, gentlemen.
Exactly what they're looking for. Efficiency from Lorenzen. First pitch swinging Brian Reynolds. That helps. 1 out. They've been wearing that spot out. 4th time a Pirate has grounded out the Galvis. Lorenzen has already induced 5 ground ball outs. Think you have more on Lorenzen?
I was just going to say, Jim, you talk to him quite often during spring training. He's made no bones about it to any of us and to the coaching staff. He wants to be a starting pitcher, and, he feels that these opportunities like this are ways that he can show them that he can do that. And, Chris, he's been a reliever a lot here. I just don't know if that transition, how long it can take to do that, but he wants to be a starting pitcher.
Well, he's making a pretty good transition tonight. I think a guy his age with his experience could make that shift back and forth, as needed. He's that talented, and I think he's that dedicated. I think there's just oftentimes so much overblown about, building your arm strength up and fine-tuning your repertoire and so on. The bottom line is getting hitters out. And if you can do it more efficiently than the other guy, then you're going to be able to last longer in ball games. I think Michael Lorenzen over the years has learned himself, and I think that's the biggest thing that a pitcher has got to do. He's got to know where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and what you have to do when you really need to repeat a pitch and get a big out.
1-2 to keep Brian Hayes down the left field line. I'll tell you what, this Hayes is a player.
Well, that's what you're looking for if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. He's 23 years old. He probably shouldn't be in the big leagues. Maybe on another ball club he wouldn't be, but he's showing that he can handle it. Hit a home run last night. He plays marvelous defense at third base. Of course, we've talked about his father, Charlie, that played about 12 or 14 years in the major leagues. He was a great player.
He's now hit safely in 8 of his last 10 games. And 9 of his first 12 big league games. No one there. And here comes Hayes to the plate. Pirates are on the board. RBI single, Colin Moran.
Well, with a runner at second base, they couldn't play the real defense that they want to against Moran. So it left a little spot there near the second base bag that was open. And he's going to be able to punch it right through there, not able to cover all that much ground. Galvis had a chance, but you wouldn't have been able to throw him out anyway.
The batter is Josh Bell. Grounded out his first time up. One pitch. Foul tip into the middle of Barnhart. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tapper. It will stay fair. Boy, living right, Josh Bell.
We talked a little bit about those baselines last night, about how normally the field is built a little bit like a swale, so that if it gets into that dirt area by the first baseline or third baseline, it's going to roll foul. But this field is perfectly flat, it looks like. Maybe the line is even high a little bit, but it was able to keep that baby fair. Lorenzen had a chance to field that ball, but he had to stay out of the way because you've got a runner coming by and only one player can be protected from obstruction. And that would have been Joey Votto, who was closest to the ball. So if Lorenzen had gotten in the way, it would have been an obstruction call, and Bell would have ended up on first base anyway.
3 straight hits off of Lorenzen. Double, single, infield single. First and second. He'll pitch in the dirt to Gregory Polanco. Polanco, a strikeout victim to end the second. 1-1. Got him to chase. Ball and 2 strikes. Strikes this season, just 6 for 88. 068, lowest in all of Major League Baseball. Full count. Reds do have action now in their pen. TJ Antone just up and throwing. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. First and second. Strike 3. Big out for Lorenzen.
Now, it was the same way that he got Polanco his last time up. Polanco is kind of a sucker for that high fastball. I mean, he sees it, but he just never seems to get on top of it. His power is when he gets a ball down and out over the plate. And he goes down back-to-back punch-outs on that high heat. Looks like TJ will be coming in next inning anyway, the way he's warming up down there.
Cole Tucker was trying to call timeout, was not granted a timeout by Ryan Blakeney. Or was he?
I think he was.
He was. Calls timeout again. Nope, the umpire's holding up 1-0. That pitch did count. Two and 0. And a strike. Took a big grip on the 96-mile-per-hour fastball. Pirates have 4 hits, 1 by Tucker back in the 3rd. Chirping from the Pirates dugout and from Cole Tucker. They thought that was low. 2-2. Fitzell by Barnhart. Count is full.
All right, well, we'll see if Lorenzen does the same thing here that he did with Polanco, which is basically climb the ladder with a fastball.
Big pitch for Lorenzen. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on the move. Popped up. This will be Akiyama in fair territory. Pirates do get a run. 4-1 Cincinnati. Tonight's game, Mitchell Wambach from Hamilton, Ohio, will win a brand new Tundra built in the USA. That's on display here at Great American Ballpark. You can register to win by visiting your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Michael Lorenzen has thrown 60 pitches in this game, 4 innings of work, and you better believe he's lobbying to stay in for inning number 5. Ball blistered by Jose Garcia, but right to his counterpart Gonzalez. Quick 1 out.
You know, it's nice the Reds are able to score some runs, have the top part of the lineup kind of do its work. You know, the guys you're paying to swing the bat, Castellanos and Votto and Winker, Moustakas, and so on, and, you know, take a little of the pressure off of Garcia. You know, let him be the young rook that kind of sneaks up on you from the bottom of the lineup. Let him get that playing time in. There's just no substitute for that. I mean, if he's going to be the shortstop of the future, you're not going to get him ready by playing him at Prasco.
No doubt. This time up for Barnhart. Monster home run. It went a long ways, and it came off the bat with some velocity, 104.9 off the bat. His hardest hit ball of the season. This one drive Tucker back a bit, 2 outs.
Musgrove was a former #1 draft pick, and he came over to Pittsburgh from Houston, along with Colin Moran, a couple of other players, in that Garrett Cole deal. And both Colin Moran and Musgrove were on their second team when they were with Houston. Musgrove was drafted by Toronto, traded from Toronto to Houston. Colin Moran was a #1 draft pick through the Marlins, and he was traded to Houston. So here they are in Houston in 2016. The Houston Astros come in 3rd place. They're kind of shaking themselves of those 4 years in a row where they lost more than 100 games. And that was their rookie year. And then in 2017, of course, that was when they had the first breakout year, the Astros did. 101 wins. They win the World Series over the LA Dodgers. And then it was the following offseason where both Colin Moran and Joe Musgrove were traded to the Pirates.
Backhanded by Hayes. Not in time. Akiyama busted down the line. We talked about Hayes. He can pick it.
Boy, this is a pretty good play right here. We talked about his defense. We haven't seen him make this play yet. We've seen him go behind second base. And maybe just took a little extra time right there with the turn. And Akiyama busted down the line to get an infield hit.
Musgrove had retired 7 in a row before that Akiyama hit. Second hit of the game for Shogo. Again, he met the media today via Zoom. He was asked the biggest difference between Japanese pitchers, those that pitch professionally in Japan, and major league pitchers now that he's kind of settled in and had success. So really the biggest difference, and the only difference in him, is the velocity. It took him a while to get used to the higher velocity here in America. Castellanos 2 for 2. Single and a double, scored a run. Pretty good lead by Shogo. balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's an interesting comment, really, by Akiyama about that. The only difference between Japanese pitchers and American pitchers is the velo, and the velo over the last few years has just increased every year. Pitchers are doing everything they can training-wise to throw harder, biomechanically to throw harder, fine-tuning what they have to get every last ounce of speed out of them. And it used to be, back when pitchers weren't throwing as hard, that guys could hang around the big leagues longer and longer because they become good breaking ball hitters, and they wait up there for that slider, and they take that slider to right field. But now, with the way scouting reports are and the way bullpens are, there aren't any pitchers that rely on those sliders. They bring in guys that are throwing 100 miles an hour, making it more of a young man's game than ever before. Or, I should say, not a young man's game, but young man's reaction at the plate. Quick swings, quick pitch recognition. And I think those are all the kind of things that baseball front offices sit and discuss for hours and hours about, what their strategy will be based on what they're seeing happening in the game of baseball.
Count holds at 0-2 on Castellanos. "66 pitches for Joe Musgrove." Chasing. 4 innings in the books. Through 4 innings, just 1 run surrender. And has induced a fair share of ground balls.
I got to tell you, this is what I expected out of Lorenzen. I mean, I am happy that he has not walked the batter, but he just looks so relaxed out there from the very first batter. And on a night when he clearly doesn't have all his pitches working, he's made big ones when he's had to.
8-9-1 for the Pirates here in the 5th. One pitch. And on the hands, 1-2. We'll do the 1-2 again. See you later. 5th strikeout for Lorenzen.
Kind of interesting, really, as I was looking through the changes in Michael's repertoire over the years. I mean, first year he was up as a starter, he didn't really throw a cutter at all. And then when they shifted him into the relief role, he threw fastball, cutter as his main 2 pitches. But more recently, this year he hasn't thrown very many cutters at all, but he's gone with a lot of changeups last couple of seasons. 30% last year, and it's been a really good pitch for him, especially to neutralize left-handed hitters.
We were talking earlier about the competitiveness of Lorenzen wanting to be a starter. When you talk to Michael, he not only wants to be a starter, he says, I can be a closer. I'd like to lead off. I'd like to play the outfield. I would like to pinch run. I would like to hit cleanup. literally everything you can ask him. He says, I can do it. One of the most confident athletes I've ever been around. Still getting used to these foul balls bouncing about 50 times with no one retrieving them. High fly ball center field. 2 down. Now a quick message from La Rosa's.
Every game this year, 11 strikeouts means a $1,000 donation to the Reds Community Fund.
Well, now 2 times through the order for Lorenzen. And we'll flip it back to the top of the order and Eric Gonzalez. Ball and a strike. Count holds at 1-2 to Gonzalez.
You know, a lot of people say nowadays, well, you can't really judge how good of a season a pitcher has had by wins and losses. But if you're Michael Lorenzen right here, you really want to finish this 5th inning, get the W, because it means something personally.
Check swing, foul ball.
I mean, it may not be the indicator anymore as it once was when pitchers were throwing complete games. You know, they get 34 starts and 20 complete games back in the days of Jim Maloney. But a win is a win. And relievers, you know, don't get that opportunity very often to control whether they win the ball game or not. You can do that as a starting pitcher.
Michael Lorenzen through 5 in fine fashion. Start, you better believe. A lot of congrats in that Reds dugout. 4 hits, didn't walk a batter, struck out 6, 76 pitches. With those reactions, we will assume his night is done. TJ Antone's been warming up. Joe Musgrove still on the hill for the Pirates. He'll get 3, 4, and 5 here in the 5th. Votto, Winker, Moustakas.
You know, Musgrove has really shown me something. That first inning was, you know, one of those that all is like a sneak attack. What happens to a starting pitcher sometimes, you know, you get a base hit and then not really a well-hit ball that goes for a base hit. You walk a guy, you hit a guy on the foot with an 0-2 pitch. All of a sudden you turn around, you're giving up 3 runs. You don't know how it happened. But he's tightened up the ship. I mean, the home run by Barnhart, he's throwing the ball very well. I would imagine he's closing in on his pitch limit. I think that they were looking at somewhere around 80 for Musgrove.
Two balls and 2 strikes to count on Joey Votto. Votto walked in the first and scored. Grounded out his last time up.
See if Musgrove goes hard in and then soft away.
And Votto knew it. And that'll bring up Jesse Winker. Last time Winker was up, he struck out to end the 2nd. But afterwards, he said something to Musgrove that didn't go over so well. And Musgrove shot some words back. Colin Moran had to pull him back, and Everyone cooled down after that. What was said, don't know.
It may not have been very much at all, and Winker probably didn't mean anything by it. But you got to remember that Musgrove had just given up 4 runs in 2 innings, and he may have a case of the goo. And when that happens, you don't want to hear the other team popping off.
One of my favorite terms on earth. Case of the goo.
I guarantee you, though, when you have a little confrontation like that, even if it didn't mean much, and it probably didn't, both of these guys now have ratcheted it up the intensity level just a little bit.
Two balls and 2 strikes to count on Winker. Now tipped into the mid of Stallings. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the inning. 3 straight for Musgrove overall.
Yeah, he missed with the changeup his last time, so he thought he'd come right back, and looks like he threw it again. Oh, that's a curveball. Both of those pitches, nice downward bite.
Batters Mike Moustakas. Fastball at 93 on the inside corner at the letters. Musgrove has retired 10 of the last batters. Only an Akiyama infield single sandwiched in there. They did their damage in the first and second. The 3 spot in the first, 1 in the second. Pretty good numbers. Moustakas v. Musgrove. Now the 1-2. Another 1-2 offering from Musgrove. And this will drift out of play. Eighty-two pitches from Musgrove. Will again drift out of play.
He's protecting.
Grove serves him up. Moustakas fouls him off.
Looks like Musgrove's trying to come in that kitchen maybe to break that favorite bat of Mike Moustakas. Looks like he's got 3 years worth of pine tar on that baby.
He's got at least a couple of on the helmet.
That's a great Biggio helmet.
Oh, man. Biggio had all that dirt mixed in.
Oh,
It would.
you need a hazmat outfit to get near that thing.
What a player, though. Killer bees. Biggio, Bagwell, Berkman. Now the 2-2. Oh, Moustakas thought he was
Everybody
ready to
thought
go
it was
on
a
back to
strike.
the dugout.
The only guy who didn't think it was a strike is the guy with whose opinion matters.
Moustakas was like, oh, man.
And it was probably the way the Stallings caught this ball. This is like reverse framing right here. See, he kind of jabbed it off the plate. If he had gotten to the spot earlier, he probably would have got that call as a strike.
Check swing appeal as Diaz rings him up.
Moustakas, he's not sure.
Sports Ohio is brought to you by Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com. Team Picture Day today. And oh yeah, years from now, they'll look back like, wow, they all have masks on. Yes, this is the year of 2020. A very unique team picture. In fact, a historical picture, if you will. New pitcher for the Reds here in the 6th, TJ Antone.
You know, Jim, you could say 30 years from now, I was in that picture.
Yeah,
I was one of those guys behind the mask.
exactly.
Who would tell you not? TJ's had some starts. He's been out of the bullpen. He's been awfully good.
We talked about this before. Being a swingman, working out of the bullpen and as a starter, and having your routine messed up is hard enough, let alone being a rookie at this level. He has handled it very, very well.
You know, the good news about that is, and I've done this job, you're in the big leagues.
Yep.
And it's way better to be a swingman in the big leagues than it is to be the number one pitcher in AAA.
No doubt.
So I've done that too. But I think you say an interesting thing, because it's not necessarily the starts that you get as a swingman. It was the times that you would be in the bullpen, because you could be the first pitcher up in the first inning and you could be the last pitcher up in the 16th inning.
Yeah.
You never really had a job of any particular time that the bell would ring and then you would know 7th inning, the 7th inning guy gets up. That's never the swingman's job.
He has been a strikeout machine, averaging 11.44 strikeouts per 9 innings. That is 36 strikeouts over 28 and a third. He's made 4 starts. A nice 3.86 ERA in those 4 starts. And 5 relief appearances, 1.50 ERA. It's a leadoff walk to Reynolds.
First walk given up by Reds pitching. Lorenzen was perfect in that department.
And the batter is Key Brian Hayes.
You know, it seems like it's a game that's much more out of hand. It was like that 1-0 game last night with Trevor Bauer on the mound. It seemed like it was 10-0, right?
Yeah.
Until Colin Moran hit that home run to tie it up. This game seems like a bigger than a 3-run lead, although it is not.
Third matchup between Hayes and Antone. Hayes 1 for 2 in those matchups. See you later. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Well, Antone's got such a good breaking pitch, and he throws hard enough to keep you honest. And he fools Hayes right here, both with the speed and the location of that pitch. A couple of Texas guys going at it right there.
Now this is Beard versus Beard. Two big league beards. Asked Antone about his beard back at Goodyear. But, the wife not too keen on the beard, but during the season she knows I like to be comfortable. During the season, it's the beard.
Well, we want to keep him comfortable because he keeps hitters uncomfortable.
No doubt. One and two. Balls and 2 strikes, the count on Colin Moran. And Reynolds leaning a bit. Count holds at 2-2. Up and away. Payoff pitch. Do it again. Lucas Sims up and throwing for the Reds. Three, 2 again. Two yet again from Antone. Here it comes. High fly ball. This will be Galvis, short right field. Ball finally comes into his mitt. 2 down. Now a quick message from Mike's Car Wash.
When the Reds win Tuesday, you save $5 off the Ultimate Wash Wednesday.
Mike's Car Wash.
Two-out batter, Josh Bell. Infield single his last time up to extend his hitting streak to 9 games. Fooled him. 0-1. Ground ball. This is Moustakas. And man stranded in the 6th for TJ. Game summary. Michael Lorenzen. Boy, did they need him tonight. Spot start, and it went well. 5 innings, 1-run baseball. Didn't walk a batter, struck out 6. And it got an early lead. The Reds put a 3 spot on the board in the first. Bases loaded. Hit by pitch to Moustakas. Goodwin, a sacrifice fly RBI, and a big 2-out knock from Freddie Galvis brings in Winker. And Tucker Barnhart, a solo blast in the second. Way out of here. That's where we stand, 4-1 Reds. David Bell's crew trying to keep this winning streak alive. And we have a major league debut here for the Pirates. Blake Cederlind throws his first big league pitch, and it's a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. Back-to-back fastballs. This one at 99.
Yeah. How high can you go? Young man's only 24 years old, has pitched in low minor league so far for the Pirates. And if you want to move through an organization, the Pirates are the one to be in. Very much like the way the Reds were, 3-4 years ago, giving what seemed to be audition after audition for pitchers that were maybe moved a little quickly through the system.
Yep. 1-2 to Goodwin.
I don't know. If I'm throwing 99 miles an hour, I'm not so sure that I'm messing around with a 91 slider that really doesn't do a lot.
From 0-2 to 3-2. The payoff. Two again. Line drive. One hopper. Gobbled up. 1 out.
Well, maybe you need a slider after all, even if you do throw upper 90s, because that ball hit right on the button by Brian Goodwin, man right there to make a play on him. And Blake Cederlind gets his first batter out of his major league debut. From Turlock, California, he did make it to AAA last year with the Indianapolis Indians. In fact, he was at, I think, 3 different levels last year.
Turlock, California. Trying to figure out where in the state that is.
think it's just about right in the center of the state.
Yeah, right in the center. It's
In Stanislaus County.
yeah, east of San Jose. At 0-2 on Galvis. Two balls and 2 strikes on the Reds' second baseman. On the ground, it is Riddle again. 2 outs. And here comes the rookie Jose Garcia.
Now, if you're going through a list of famous people from Turlock, California, you can't overlook one of my favorite all-time Cincinnati Reds, and knew him better after he was a Reds player. Unfortunately, passed away a few years ago. Brad the Animal Leslie.
One of the great
What
nicknames.
a character. Miss that guy so much.
The Animal. The Major League debut goes well for Blake.
Made his Major League debut and had a nice job of it. He's kind of leaning behind Colin Moran right there. But he's from Turlock, California. So we looked up Turlock, find out where it is and who are some of the famous people. Well, here's Brad Leslie, the Animal. And no one ever quite like the Animal.
I mean, when the truck showed us this in the break, I mean, jeez. I mean, a congratulations of a punch. What? Oh, I hope we get him to the dugout
Oh,
here.
my gosh.
Look at him. Just fired up. The Animal. Freeze it. Oh, man. I'm not sure we're going to be able to top that.
I mean, is Matt Sigafus the greatest or what? He's the guy that has the access to the archive. And in a moment's notice, we talk about Turlock, California, and up comes Brad the Animal Leslie.
Well, Chris Welsh, you know, Jim, at Fantasy Camp, Chris used to be one of the instructors there. Well, so was Brad Leslie. And after he finished here, he went to Japan and played. Then when he came back to the States, he befriended the Marshall Tucker Band and actually went on tour with them. How about that life?
Well, he's probably guarding the front of the stage.
One of the best ever, man. What a great guy he was. Miss him.
I mean,
There you go.
check him out.
Personality shot right there.
Oh, man. Who was that he was congratulating? It was like a punch. Was that Dreesen?
He looked like it slapped him with his glove.
Dreesen's like, easy.
Oh, man.
Wow. How are we going to recover from this?
I'm glad Brad Sederlin came in.
Yes.
For Blake. Excuse me.
Lucas Sims, the new pitcher for the Reds, calmly strikes out Gregory Polanco. We gotta take another look. Dan Dreesen.
That was the last time Dreesen ever congratulated
There's
him.
no doubt about it. I mean, that trumps Sean Casey when he gives you a high five or he's greeting you and about, separates your shoulder.
Brother. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Lucas Sims has been outstanding here in 2020. 2 outs.
Well, he has. I was lucky enough to do a number of those baseball tech talks down in spring training, number 1, February and March, and I had a chance to do one with Lucas, and I really hadn't learned much about Lucas Sims, didn't get to know him very well. Very likable young man, but boy, is he ever dedicated. Mm-hmm. And he was just like a sponge, absorbing everything that the analysts could tell him about spin rate and about his arm angle, and he just wanted to make himself better and better. And you just had a feeling watching him in the bullpen and watching what he did down there that he was on the verge of a breakthrough. Came over from the Atlanta Braves in the Adam Duvall deal, and so far that's turned out to be a good deal for both ball clubs.
Yep.
Even though one time Duvall had been sent down to the minor leagues. Having a nice year for the Braves this year.
2 balls and no strikes to count on JT Riddle. Lucas Sims, during the shutdown and the quarantine, he actually stayed here in Cincinnati. His lease started in April. What the heck, I'm just going to stay here. He was one amongst the guys that worked out on a daily basis once they opened up the stadium here at Great American Ballpark. Took advantage of being able to work out right here on the field that he's pitching on. It's a 1-2-3-7 stretch time at Great American.
Historic arrivals with a lifetime membership to the Reds rookie class of 2020. Sign up those babies today at reds.com/fan clubs. And fellas, it's time for the scoreboard stuffer. 3 pitchers have saved 25 or more games in each of the last 3 seasons. That's 2017 to 2019. Who are the 3?
I'll chew on that for a bit.
Okay.
Ads are coming up. So 4-1 Reds. And Derek Holland on the mound. The pride of Newark, Ohio. Worked an inning and a third in game 2 of the doubleheader last night. Gave up an earned run. He will face 9-1-2 for the Reds. Barnhart, Akiyama, Castellanos. Ball and a strike on Tucker. Entered play tonight just a game back in that final wild card spot in the expanded playoffs this season. And the 2 teams above them in that regard, Philadelphia and San Francisco. The Giants were set to play the Mariners in Seattle, and they had to move that game. They postponed it, and they're moving a quick 2-game series to San Francisco due to poor air quality in the Seattle area due to the fires in Washington and Oregon. So with the win, the Reds could pick up a half game on the Giants, whom they're a game back of. Philadelphia is holding down that one of 2 wild card spots. And tonight, the Phillies with a 2-1 lead over the Mets in Philadelphia, bottom of the 5th. Down goes Barnhart. Pick, you have something on Greg Holland?
Yeah, JD, you just mentioned that he's from Northern Ohio, but he is not a Buckeye or Bearcat fan. He is a huge Michigan Wolverine fan. Well, the great grounds crew here found out about that. And so this is how they welcome him. Every time he passes them, they yell and scream, "Go Bucks!" And Christo even wore the Ohio State helmet just for Holland to kind of get under his skin as he goes in the game. How about that?
Now, he would tell you right now, Jeff Picorell, that it's that team up north.
That's correct.
A lot of Buckeyes on that helmet.
Buckeye leagues, heck yeah. Grounds crew has made a lot of solid plays this year.
You're not kidding.
And quite honestly, the field has never looked better here at Great American Ballpark than it does this season. Oh, even got a Michigan State flag down there. Spartans. Oh, man. Newark, Ohio, in the heart of Buckeye country, east of Columbus. Balls and 2 strikes on Akiyama. This is Hayes cutting it off. Another fine play. Boy, he does pick it like a shortstop.
You know, I think with all the shifts that are in baseball now, you're going to see fewer and fewer of those stereotyped infielders where you have a big burly third baseman, you know, that takes one off his chest and then picks it up and throws you out. And then you have the light hitting little, you know, defensive back type shortstop. I mean, here is Hayes playing third base like a shortstop.
Natural, fluid. Two-out batter, Nick Castellanos. And a strike on Castellanos. Reds are done in the 7th. Still 4-1 Red. Painting Kroger location to receive a free Trevor Bauer bobblehead presented by Tri-Health and a Joey Votto replica jersey presented by Fox Sports Ohio. For locations and hours, visit Reds.com/Kroger. Aristides Aquino is your new right fielder, taking over for Nick Castellanos. Lucas Sims still on the mound for the Reds. First pitch to Jacob Stallings is outside. Aquino had an interesting day. He was optioned after the game last night back to the alternate site, I should say. And then when Suarez went on the paternity list, he was recalled.
One of the advantages the Reds have of having that alternative site so close. I'm not sure how many other teams have their other site in the same city as their big league team.
He's made a few moves today. They also placed Jose De Leon on the 10-day injured list. We saw him leave the game yesterday. And it was actually recalling Aquino from the alternate site on that move. and also R.J. Alanis picked up from the alternate site. They designated for assignment outfielder Nick Williams. Two-two pitch right at Garcia. Boy, that ball was smoked.
That may have been the hardest hit ball all night long, including that home run by Tucker Barnhart. That ball was right on the button. You can see the reaction that Garcia has at the end right there.
Don't hit him that hard at high A ball. Man. All right, top of the order now, Eric Gonzalez. Giving chase. We'll run out of room. Hot potato down there. Into right center field. Goodwin giving chase. This one will go all the way to the wall. And it's the first hit of the game for Eric Gonzalez. A one-out double.
Well, Gonzalez had been chasing breaking pitches off the plate all night. He finally gets a fastball that kind of comes the other way, right back into his wheelhouse. And he's thinking right field anyway because he's seen that steady diet of sliders. So the Pirates leadoff hitter puts himself in scoring position.
Reds do have Amir Garrett warming up in the bullpen. Coming up after the game, Reds Live post-game presented by Performance Kings Honda. We'll immediately follow this one. David Bell, Derek Johnson. Good one underneath of this one, 2 outs. And that'll bring up the rookie Ke'Bryan Hayes. 1-for-3 game for Hayes. Doubled and scored. The only Pirates run, it came back in the 4th.
Yeah, we were talking between innings, Jim, about Ke'Bryan Hayes, about what a slick fielder he looks like he is. And at his young age, we'll probably see him around in a big league uniform for a long time. But he plays third base, as I'm reminded of, remember Tony Fernandez?
Oh, yeah.
That was a deal that Jim Bowden brought over. And I forget who we had playing, maybe was it Barry Larkin already at shortstop, so there was nowhere for Fernandez to play, who had played only shortstop his entire career. And they convinced him to play third base, and he played it superbly.
Tony Fernandez, one of the childhood idols of Joey Votto.
You can see why. What a really nice man he was, and passed away, unfortunately, this past February.
Yep. Spring training, Votto honored him with Fernandez's name on his cap. One of those spring training games in Goodyear, one of the days, Goodyear, Arizona, which seems like about 2 years ago. balls and a strike to Hayes. The lefty Colin Moran due up next. I would imagine he would get Garrett if we get there. We'll see. Swing and a miss. Payoff pitch. Fair ball. Heads up play by Barnhart. Grabbed it in fair territory.
Retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Final out of the inning. Heads up by Barnhart.
It is. This ball looks like it might be in contact with the plate. If it is, it's a fair ball in fair territory. The plate, of course, is in fair territory. See, Brian Hayes did not think so. In fact, he had Derek Shelton, the manager, out there. They had a little bit of a mini umpire conference, and it basically stayed where it was called as an out to end the inning. If any part of that baseball is over home plate, so it doesn't have to be resting on home plate, it just has to be over the line or on over the plate. So he's learning a little bit about the rules while he comes here to Cincinnati.
I've done most of my learning at baseballrulesacademy.com.
We sent out a little mailing today about a play that happened in Chicago last night. Ball that got wedged underneath the wall, and outfielder thought it was going to be only a lodged ball. The runner, Byron Buxton, kept running around all the way around the bases. And they eventually called him back when they indeed found that it was lodged underneath the fence. Not by much, just a little bit.
Hayes again. 2 down in the 8th. Split the pot tickets are available online. Jackpot over $20,000. In fact, $23,000 plus. It's a rolling jackpot. It'll continue till the last game of the regular season. Purchase now at Reds5050.com. Must be 18 and older and in the state of Ohio to purchase. Help out the Reds Community Fund to boot. Mike Moustakas 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the first with the bases loaded for his 18th RBI of the season.
You know, after the big offensive game in the second game yesterday, he thought maybe the Reds would get this thing rolling. Now, Musgrove had a tough first inning when he gave up 3, home run to Barnhart to make it 4-0. But you know, the Reds offense has pretty much gone to sleep. Only 6 hits on the night, 5 hits for the Pirates. And another 1-2-3 inning.
Here we go to the 9th. Has been brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Saturday and Sunday fan appreciation weekends continue. Kroger locations, participating locations. Free Trevor Bauer bobblehead presented by Tri-Health. Joey Votto jersey presented by Fox Sports Ohio. Reds.com/Kroger for more information. All right, Reds trying to protect a 4-1 lead in the 9th. Amir Garrett on the hill. He has no saves in his big league career. And this one caught. A leaping catch at the wall by Brian Goodwin. Yes, sir.
Well, Colin Moran hit it hard, but he hit it very high, and he gave a chance for the center fielder Goodwin to get over there. Now you got to time it just right. Yeah, that's a great catch.
Now,
Getting up there a little bit.
Garrett always with the theatrics. One-0 to Josh Bell. Got it. Two balls and two strikes to count on Josh Bell.
Garrett got touched up a little bit his last time out. That was when the Reds were in St. Louis on September 12th. Pitching in, gave up a couple of home runs in that ball game. But that was a very much of a rarity for Amir Garrett. He has been basically lock solid all year long.
Count holds at 3-2. And a walk to Bell. Give you the answer to our scoreboard stumper. 3 pitchers saved 25 or more games in each of the last 3 seasons. Who are they? Edwin Diaz, Raisel Iglesias, and Kenley Jansen. Amir going for number 1. Pitch strike to Polanco. We had 0-2. Polanco 1 for 9 career off of Garrett.
Well, he's been a strikeout victim 3 times. Falling victim to the high heat.
High heat there, but way high.
And that just may be a setup pitch for Garrett's best pitch of all, and that would be that slider.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
It would really do this ball club and Amir Garrett good. I mean, if he's able to get through this inning, nail down a save, and just kind of not make it so novel. So that when he's out there again, it's just getting back to business.
Careful now. Count is full. After walking Bell.
Drop the fastball to get to the slider.
Payoff pitch. And back-to-back walks, and that will bring the tying run to the plate. There's the pregame edition, always prior to every game here in Fox Sports Iowa, brought to you by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Luis Castillo gets the ball tomorrow night in the finale of 4 against the Pirates.
You know, bases on balls have not been a problem really for Amir Garrett all year long. Now he's walked 2 in this inning. In fact, he has not walked the batter since the middle of August. So it could be a little bit of a case of the nerves. There's something about that 9th inning that just has energy that other innings do not. And I think that was more or less for Derek Johnson, as George Grand used to say, check up from the neck up.
Indeed. Robert Stevenson up and throwing for the Reds. The switch hitter Cole Tucker up now. He'll bat from the right-hand side. Lefty J.T. Riddle due up next.
That would have been nice to get that call. Now the question is, how long will David Belk stay with Amir Garrett? If he walks the batter in the batter's box now, Tucker.
.20 pitch. Needed a strike and got it. Left-hander. We'll see Tucker call timeout. Three and one.
Well, there's a left-hander in the batter's box, but he probably will not get a chance to bat if Cole Tucker is able to work his way on base. Take a nice deep breath, take your best pitch, take a little bit off, and throw it for a strike.
Garrett needs a strike and gets it.
Pirates have a couple of right-handers available on the bench, John Ryan Murphy and Kevin Newman. I would imagine it would be Newman.
It's the call on the heater. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on first and second. And the payoff pitch. Two again. Good battle. Garrett and Tucker.
I think that's 4 fastballs in a row that I've seen Amir Garrett throw, which is probably the most consecutive number of fastballs I've seen him throw maybe ever. His normal go-to pitch is that slider. Just does not look like he's got a great feel for it tonight.
Swing and a
There it
miss.
is.
He struck him out. 2 down.
Well, when he needed it, he got it. He had a couple of counts there where he needed to throw a strike. He threw the pitch on the corner. That time, Cole Tucker chases one a little bit downstairs, but that's a dandy slider and a very common theme we've seen with Amir Garrett.
Kevin Newman is the guy that will step into the on-deck circle and will now stride to the plate. And we'll see if David Bell will roll with his lefty Garrett, and he will.
Yeah, I think this is a good choice right here.
First pitch to Newman. Newman 1 for 4 in his career matchups with Garrett. Bell is lead from second. Polanco from first. 1-0 from Garrett. 2-0.
Well, I would imagine that this would be the last man that he would see. A right-hander in the on-deck circle is Jacob Stallings, the catcher.
And within the Pirates counter with the lefty Adam Frazier they have on the bench. We'll see. Garrett hopes they don't get there. Fastball at the knees. Never easy as a big league skipper. Just never easy.
We knew it was going to come down to this.
Three and one.
Yeah, Garrett is a lot of body movement forward here, and he's kind of trailing his arm behind him. And that's why that breaking pitch is kind of staying outside, carrying it a little bit too much.
Long look in, has what he wants. Now the 3-1 in the air. Aquino has it, and the Reds hold on to win 4-1. It's their 4th straight victory overall, and the first major league save for Amir Garrett. And the Reds right in the thick of things, trying to get a playoff spot here in 2020. Another big win, and they'll go after a series sweep over the Pirates tomorrow night here on Fox Sports Ohio. Second straight series victory for the Reds after taking 2 out of 3 in St. Louis. They win the first 3 of 4 against the Pirates. And a big one at that. They will gain a half game on that final wild card spot, and right now Milwaukee beating St. Louis 11-2. If that holds up, the Reds can be only a half game out of second place in the division.
Well, they've got some momentum going their way, and that's one of the biggest things that they have not been able to do all year long is to put a streak together. Yes, you've got the Pirates in town, but you've got to take care of business. Amir Garrett does that in the 9th inning, picks up save number 1, and the Reds have now 4 in a row with 1 more game left with the Pirates tomorrow.
Garrett fired up as usual. That's AG on the mound, not Amir. And AG standing by with Jeff Pecoro.
Thanks a lot, guys. Yes, it was not Raisel Iglesias or Archie Bradley at the end of this one. It was Amir Garrett, and he finally got that baseball for the first save of your career. Amir, congratulations.
Thank you, Jeff. Man, it was a grind today. For sure it was a grind, but, it's not always pretty. We had to find a way to get it done because I was coming out after that batter right there, I'll tell you that.
You know, it looked like you were relying more on the fastball tonight instead of that slider. It's a little chilly out here. It's a lot chilly out here. Could you not get a good feel for it or what?
I kind of couldn't, but, you know, my fastball has been pretty good lately. And, you know, I want to learn how to trust that pitch anyway, you know, and my fastball was very live today. You know, I just wasn't spotting up like I normally do. But, you know, like I said, it wasn't pretty. We got the job done, and that's all that matters.
Well, you know, you guys down in the bullpen are really close to each other. And one of those guys got the start today in Michael Lorenzen. It just shows the depth that you guys have now, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're very deep. You know, Michael came out 5 innings, man. That was big time. TJ, Lucas, you know, we all did our job today, man. And Michael was a big part of that, man, because you never know what could happen in a day like this. You know, he's a reliever. For him to go 5 was big, you know, and we played some good baseball. We've been playing some good baseball, so we just got to keep it going.
You guys have won 4 games in a row now. You pick up another half game in the standings. It's getting to be pretty exciting right now, isn't it?
I think we're right where we need to be. You know, it's exciting times right now. So hopefully we can continue to play and win and find a spot in the playoffs, man, because that's what Cincinnati wants. That's what the fans want. That's what we want. So we're trying to give everybody what they want.
Finally, Amir, can you feel that momentum starting to build with this team? Because the hitting's now starting to pick up, and you guys are doing a great job.
Man, this team is scary. This team is very scary. You know, like I always said, once we start to click together, hitting, pitching, everything comes together, we're going to be one of the best teams in Major League Baseball.
Well, congratulations on your first Major League save.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Amir Garrett picks up his first Major League save tonight, and the Reds have now won 4 games in a row. When we come back, we'll head back to the studio. Reds Live is coming up next. Reds winners 4-1 over the Pirates.